She's going to speak about her collage work, which some of you may not even have realized that this was collage. You really have to get up very close to it to appreciate not only the detail and skill that's gone into making these pieces, but the fact that she's actually cut all of these drawings out. The branches, the leaves. So after we've done the circle around, please make sure to come back and get up close so you can get a sense of the dimensionality.
And if you're really interested, check out my website, because every once in a while I'll put a series of process photos on, so you can sort of see it from beginning to end, because the process is a little quirky and odd, and people don't really understand it. And I realized, rather than just saying, well, I start at the beginning and then I add a layer and then I add a layer and then I add a layer and I draw on it and I add a layer and I draw on it, which is exactly what happens, but it doesn't really make sense because there's no visuals. So I did put a bunch of photos. But I think one of the things I've seen is I've listened and watched, and from the conversations I had at the opening with the different artists, is everybody has to find their structure and their support if they want to continue to make art. And you have to figure out, oh, well, this is what I need to do, this is what intrigues me, this is what I need to think about. And for me, because of the training I had and the teachers who were important to me, even though it probably doesn't initially looking at my work, which is quite realistic, is I think of myself as working very, very abstractly. For me, the size of the canvas is the ultimate abstraction, and the techniques I found and the subject matter that I choose are simply ways that make it possible for me to think in an abstract way, to have a kind of equality between figure and ground. Probably my most important teacher was a man named Nicholas Marsicano, who was a figurative, maybe second, third string abstract expressionist, and that kind of thinking got passed down to me. And I don't know what else I can say other than I find it very compelling to make art, and it's really a treat to be able to have other people actually look at it.
Louise, are you working from photographs?
Yes, I work from photographs that I take.
So you know what you're planning on building when you start?
Yes, okay. Yes, but I'm never quite sure how I'm going to get there, and I have to figure out what to build. And so it's like, all right, let's see what happens.
Yeah, Claire and I were wondering how, if you'll forgive the pun, organic the process was for you, if the plants sort of grew upon each other as you were layering it, or if you were staying true to what you were studying at the same time you were making the collages. Or would you say it's a combination?
It just sort of happens. It's sort of like
meditation.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's just, I know if I feel it enough and I think about it, it will talk to me in the same way that from piece to piece there's a conversation, from artist to artist there's a conversation, the different elements, the different colors. You know, Matisse had something that he wrote about where, you know, you put the green couch in and then you put something red in and the green has to change, you know, and so everything affects everything else, because this is the totality. It's not like, oh, here's this and then you put that in and then that's done. It's like, as soon as you put that in, oh, well, maybe it's, and then you put that in and that in, it's like, until finally it's, you know, all right, this is it.
And how long a process is it to develop each of these?
Long. It's hours and hours and hours. But
do you ever put them away and come back to them in a different week, or do you try to do all of this in one?
I have never worked on more than one at once. I guess it would be possible, but although what will happen is I'll put it away and then take it out again and think, oh, I thought that was done, but it wasn't done. I just, all right.
A new idea. And is it always organic, or do you ever, does the subject matter vary, or do you work closely with these?
I've been working with flowers and plants for maybe since 2008, 2010
Okay.
or so,
Mhm.
maybe
And
2007.
before that, what were you doing?
I was, actually, the reason I began to do flowers is I had been doing things that are ugly, forgotten, neglected, urban things, things you'd see from the side of your eye, and catching it and composing it and trying to make it look beautiful. And somehow I got this idea in my head that it would be really interesting to do something beautiful, flowers, and make them look ugly, or at least to take some of the sentimentality and sweetness away from them. And that's how it began, although I think the earlier ones were much harsher and more jangly. But, I'll see where it takes. And at this point, there wasn't room to hang them, but at this point, I'm doing some very oblong ones they're very interesting, and working a lot of browns.
You say you start from the photographs. Do you take them yourself?
Oh, yeah.
So,
That's it?
Thank you. Someone else have a question?
just one quick question on that. So you spot something in nature and you snap it, and
Yep.
that's your starting point.
Yep.
Got it. All right.
Thank you.